Welcome back to another installment of the Cecil Whig's Top 10 Sports Stories of the Decade. We are here today with Matt Jackson, 2008 Rising Sun graduate and three-time state champion and the all-time win leader for Cecil County Wrestling. Matt, let's start. 148 victories, which was the most in county history. On your way to that mark, you passed two-time state champion Jason Townsend, a 92 Rising Sun graduate. I know Jason's career still to this day has served as an inspiration for you. Talk about what passing him on that list, on the win list, meant to you.
Well, throughout even junior league and high school, I talked to Jason, mainly throughout junior league. He did a lot of wrestling camps, and I always went to him, and I always looked up to him. And he was always, the top guy that we always, put up there. Even Luke Garvin, he was another great wrestler from Rising Sun, but Jason Townsend was, the best guy that I knew of. So, I mean, he was always my, not necessarily my role model, but I always wanted to be like him. I mean, he had a lot of wins. He was a great wrestler. So, when I actually did pass him, it was almost a surprise, kind of, because, I mean, you can't really compare yourself to that. I didn't think I was that great. I mean, so it just kind of, it makes you feel good too, but you don't want to, I don't know. So.
The night you broke the record was packed gym at Rising Sun against Matt Cross from Bel Air. He went on to win the 152-pound title at 4A3A that year. You trailed till the very end of that match. Take me through those final seconds and the reaction from that crowd after you won.
I remember it being 3-3, with about 40 seconds left, and I ended up letting him go, letting him get an escape. So it was 4-3 with about 30 seconds left, and I knew I needed to take down to win the match. So I ended up getting in deep on a shot with about 30 seconds left, and that gym was going crazy. I was caught in the moment. I couldn't even explain it. It was just crazy. So I'm in the shot, and I take him down with I knew it had to be less than 5 seconds. And I'm taking him down, riding him out, the whistle blew. I look up, the ref standing up there with 2 fingers raised. So I ended up beating him 4-3 and just standing up, and both sides of the gym were just jumping up and down, screaming, and it was an awesome feeling. I mean, that was our senior night too, so pretty amazing.
You had said after winning the 3rd state title that when you entered high school you would have been happy with just 1 state title. Did you ever imagine the success of having 3 of them?
Definitely not. That coming into freshman year, the most I expected out of myself was maybe 1 state championship my senior year. And that was my goal, so and then, I mean, ended up getting 3rd my freshman year. I was like, this might be a possibility to get more than 1, so I mean, getting into my sophomore year is just, a dream come true. Not even, I didn't even expect it. And then, ended up with 3 finally at the end of my career is just not even in my mind at the time. I mean, it all came to us as a surprise to me, really. I didn't meet any of my expectations at all. I didn't expect that much out of my career. So.
Is there one of those 3 state championships that stands out above the rest, and if so, why?
It would definitely have to be my first one. Because that one was probably my closest one, and just being my first one, I mean, I had a lot of fans there, and I knew it was going to be a tough wrestler. I had to wrestle him earlier in the season, and just coming through, I think it was another close call, 20 seconds left. I took him down for the win, and I mean, standing up and looking up in the home crowd for the first time, realizing I just won a state championship was unforgettable. I mean,
you finished 17-1 at the individual tournament, 16 straight victories. For the younger wrestlers that get nervous on that, talk about what goes into maintaining your poise on such a big stage, and how long did it take you to settle into that environment?
Well, I think my freshman year, the reason I lost because there's too much pressure from us. I mean, I was so nervous, didn't know what to expect. It was my second match, and I mean, I just broke. I couldn't handle the pressure, just froze up. So I mean, after a while, after getting a little more experience under my belt, I mean, just felt more natural. I mean, I didn't get as nervous. I still got nervous, but I mean, I've been there before. It wasn't as tough as the first year. So
in 2007, as a junior, the team itself had the perfect 18-0 dual meet season, swept every possible title. What was the atmosphere like in the room that season? Did you guys sense that there was something special about that team that year?
Oh, definitely. We knew from, like, even from a junior league, like, all the junior leaguers were all the same ages. So coming up into high school, we knew that our best years was going to be our junior, senior years, especially our junior year is going to be the best years. So, I mean, there was definitely high expectations in the room. Coach Cox, I mean, not saying they ran it harder, but, like, there was a lot better talent in the room. So, I mean, we all wrestled pretty tough, and knowing that we had to work hard to earn a team state championship. So
when you won the second of the three titles, you and Jamie Price went back-to-back at 135 and 140. Talk a little bit about how you two helped push each other in the room that season.
Well, we were actually practice partners my sophomore year and sophomore and junior year. And, I mean, we didn't wrestle anybody else in practice. It was just us two. And over the years, I mean, we wrestled really hard in practice because there were some days where you're like really tired, like, oh man, I can't go hard. But there was very few of those days. I mean, every day we almost made a promise to each other to wrestle hard and like let each other know if we were doing something wrong. I mean, we didn't take it easy on each other. I mean, we really were really tough on each other. I mean, that helped out a lot. And Jamie, not ever having a state championship, I mean, he kind of pushed himself, like, using me as a meter almost, and, like, I mean, it kind of gave him confidence because he was just as good as me in the wrestling room in practice. I mean, so, I mean, we kind of used that to push each other throughout the season, so.
Well, in senior year, I mean, in high school you were that kind of wrestler that rarely got nervous, very poised before you went on the mat, but there were obvious butterflies in the Play of Champions before you wrestled Jim Eckelberger in the state final. Was that mainly that realization hitting you finally of how much was at stake with the third title on the line?
Yeah, that was definitely the case. I mean, knowing that was going to be my last high school wrestling match, and not to mention a 3-time state championship waiting there if I won. I mean, there was definitely a lot of pressure. I tried to keep it under control and everything, but before the match I was talking to Coach Cox and my dad about it, and they were like, just got to go out there and wrestle your match. I mean, they were trying to calm me down, but it definitely was pretty nerve-wracking. But I mean, then again, I mean, I never saw him before in the past state tournaments, and you just got to tell yourself, you've been doing this for 4 years now. I mean, come to the state tournament, your experience, I mean, just got to kind of push those thoughts out of your head. So
you're at the Naval Academy now and wrestling there. How would you say that your success and your training at Rising Sun, did that help prepare you for what you're experiencing now?
Definitely. I was a pretty dedicated wrestler. I mean, Coach Cox made the whole team work really hard to pull out wins. I mean, just develop wrestlers into the best they could be. And so, I mean, going through some tough wrestling practices and even workouts early Saturday mornings, he always had them early Saturday morning, definitely prepared me. I mean, Division I wrestling is definitely a lot harder, but I mean, I've always been pushed by both coaches and out of the room, and I mean, it was nothing different. I mean, just how hard you're willing to work. So